Go step forward. Let's go. Good.
What's up, guys? Brian Peterson here. I'm out here in the desert. Go check this out. Look what's going on here. What are we doing out here? We're here at a catch wrestling workshop? Certification?
Yeah, it's like a camp.
Guys, this is Jake Shannon right here. What's up, Jake?
Thank you.
I just arrived. I finally got here. I'm a little bit late. They're already working inside, and they're working on some catch wrestling techniques, and that's why I'm here today, so I can check this stuff out. Jake's going to introduce me to the world of catch wrestling. What do you got to say, Jake?
Hey, I'm just glad you're here, and I mean, you know, catch wrestling is very interesting. I'm very biased, but you know, I sometimes call it the catch patch, because Folkstyle guys need catch, Jiu-jitsu guys need catch, because the Folkstyle guys need to know setups and entry standard to compete with the Jiu-jitsu guys, but the Jiu-jitsu guys need to know wrestling to wrestle, you know, to grapple against the wrestlers.
Right.
And so catch wrestling sits at this really nice area. And then on top of that, we're also, you know, if you have Venn diagrams, you got Jiu-Jitsu, Folkstyle, and then you got pro wrestling. We're all over the place. It's a fun sport.
Right. So it sounds to me like we're actually kind of similar in that, like, I always take my jiu-jitsu as I call myself a jiu-jitsu guy. I mix it in with my wrestling. It's kind of something that they're working on. So we probably share some philosophies and such. So I'm excited to learn. So see you guys later. Check it out.
Right. One more time. Grab the wrist.
Try this. This is Gene Bell does it different, but watch.
Release. Grip.
Okay, make it easy here. When you get the double
Now it's over. Yeah, I can't.
and I don't even have to worry about this shit.
Yeah. No, I
If I can
understand.
get that, right? Anyway. For us, everything's about levers. So, if I'm going to grab you here, I'm at the end of a long lever, right? When Archimedes said, give me a lever long enough and I can move the world. Right, so if I go
You don't
here,
need to move. You're going to make him
the
move.
lever
Okay?
is messed up because now there's some taking play out.
No.
So watch. Arm drills, right? Basic. Basic. Here's catch wrestling.
Inside here.
Grab
Yeah, you
here.
go.
Here.
Step right up.
Actually, grab my wrist. Here. Block. Here.
Yes.
You see how like hybrid standing you to get you there.
Right.
Now you'll get that one time. Because the guy's like, you know, I'm not gonna do that twice.
Doesn't
And then he
hold,
tightens
just
up,
push.
tighten up hard, just push straight. And I go this way. Up. Right? Okay. So be tight. This way. Now you're smart. A lot of guys are going to play behind
Right.
you and then I can arm.
Right.
So, anyway, maximum leverage, so I can pull you in that step and just grab. So,
I think I've seen this before.
here, yeah, you want to rotate out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is I'm
I
right
get
here
how
on the
you're
leg.
using that to get the leg.
Yeah, so, anyway, so, grab my wrist,
Okay.
Block him.
block,
Now, release and grab him.
re-grab.
This one.
Okay, so, now you try to help me block. That's
Yeah.
it, and re-grab.
Guys,
Now,
why not see
no,
like
but
a
don't.
big yell,
See,
like,
I
he's
can
like
feel my
an
weight,
outside
but you're
man.
pulling me down.
Trust me. if
Keep
Billy
this
was
still.
here,
Don't move it.
He was
Put this
super
here.
meticulous.
Now this stays
Everything had
still,
to be done
and this pushes this way.
with this solid fundamentals.
Now you just
And it was always
drop.
inside and reach with the palms.
You're gonna draw. You're gonna step
Outside
inside
hand, pump steel.
and drop inside.
And you use this hand first?
Now, you really don't. Couple more times.
Inside, yeah. And so what I do when I do mine, just be a little loosey-goosey like that. So once I get it in step, here, I wrap and I wrap hard. Then I do my pivot step here and run the pipe. Okay? Once I have this, okay, now the key is, a lot of these guys with leg locks now, because it's so trendy, first thing they want to do is lay down. Right? They take the leg out and they want to you're losing the high ground, the strategic high ground. I have all this mobility. Sure, you can spin and stuff, but I have this leg on the outside of me with big advantage as long as I can lift the hip.
I'm going. See how
I
close
don't
we
lift
are?
the hip, I have
All I
nothing.
have to do is reach
So the
down
key to
and
this,
keep my head.
a lot of guys when they do their leg locks, they'll have like an Achilles,
my
and as they go, their hand goes down. So what I do, and this is actually a Frank Shamrock trick, I grab my chest hair, put my other hand underneath, and then I
So
lift your
notice the step I did was
The
what?
thing I can do is once I get your
If you
hip up,
pivot,
I can start nudging you.
recognize that?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
again, he grabs the wrist.
You
I'm
understand?
relaxed.
So
I'm loose.
try that on me.
I'm not tense.
You're gonna arm drag, run the
Release.
pipe, step the leg to the
Pick
outside.
up.
Okay.
So
He's on
Switch grip.
Yep.
here,
Arm drag.
and then now.
That's
As you
it.
pull here,
On the ground.
we like to release with
Here.
this one first.
All right,
That's it,
try it
my
out.
leg.
I'll help you guys get it.
Let's sit
With the correct
outside.
Right.
Lift my hip.
Okay, go.
Start
Back.
nudging me over with your knee. That's it. Step over. Sit down. All the way. Now lean back until I tap. Keep going.
This one goes underneath.
Lean back. That's it.
That one goes underneath. No,
Right,
inside
and
hand
so-
first goes in for him.
The other thing is so
Inside hand first. Now two hands, pick his knee up, hold your chest. Okay, now, this elbow is gonna punch.
like nudge you over,
his
right?
knee. So punch
And I don't like the way that's going. Up to his hip. Very simple. Just step over to me. Yeah, I can do all the.
And then the other thing is
You
you
like,
pull
you like
back.
to go that way with your
Beautiful,
crossface?
that's correct.
Or this way? The crossface.
I like to go here.
Good.
As that, we actually use this as a
Yes.
position.
Right.
So you know,
I do the other way. I go that way with the crossface.
for me, it sets up about 50 moves. That crossface, right? So if you're down, you might want to come on this side. So that won't break your heart.
And now you're gonna
If I'm
turn.
here, right? First thing is if you get up to a base,
Right.
right? Real easy barbed wire.
Start over.
Right.
Easiest barbed wire you'll get into. Come back down. But if I'm cross facing here too. Now, you know, jiu-jitsu, the chokes are so big.
Two hands.
But for us, we do neck
Hold
cranks.
your chest.
So all I have to do is open my hand
This.
here. You know, I mean, so for us, it's a very strategic position. Because I have like 100 different moves off of that cross.
Right. How much of this though is mostly dependent on the pin? Like, I mean, if you don't have the pin,
There you go.
how would you? People aren't going to be in this position.
I think of catch wrestling is very analogous to no-gi judo.
Right.
Very analogous.
I agree.
Very, very close. So I see that guy, Flores, what's his name? Justin or something.
Justin Flores, yeah, he's a good wrestler, good judo guy.
Yeah.
His style actually looks the closest to the catch wrestling that I see. It really is. It's
Right.
very fluid, a lot of the same moves, but there's no jacket involved. It's very, very much the
Right.
same. So for
Pay
us,
attention to that.
historically, under catch wrestling rules, which is pin or submit, no points, no takedown points, none of that stuff, just pin or submit. Historically, most matches were one.
But eventually,
Right.
Because it's a 3-count pin.
It's a 3-count. Right. I've seen on YouTube a couple tournaments where I saw the 3-count pin. I think it was, is it Curran? The guy, Curran?
Yeah, so current, last year we had world championships. And it was really just to settle a beef between him and Josh Barnett, really, honestly. Josh,
I heard a little bit about it, but I don't know that
yeah,
much.
I mean, it's all a bunch of drama that doesn't really do much for the sport, but
Okay.
Josh had entered a catch tournament because he just finally wanted to wrestle Curran and, you know, get that out of their system or whatever.
Right.
Josh had an injury, so Curran wrestled, and he did really well.
Old ladies carrying a bag of groceries.
You know, he was the youngest guy, I think, at the tournament, and he was also the only guy prepared because once Josh entered, it was no longer going to be an open tournament.
How
He made
old
an
is Curran
invitation.
though?
So the
I think he's got to be
reason
30 or something.
Okay.
here.
But Josh is my age.
Is that
Josh
called
is
under or
41.
block?
41 or 42 or
41,
something, yeah.
This one
He might have
comes
just
under-
turned 42, but yeah.
So,
he and I are the
but
same.
pinning
So now
is a huge part of the sport. I mean, historically,
There's no way.
I'd say 70% of matches ended with a pin.
Yeah.
But there's one important thing to understand. There are so many
Those
pins
arms locked in.
that are also submissions. I mean, you could just look at the success of Eddie Bravo with the twister, which is a wrestler's guillotine,
Right.
right? Banana splits, the spladle. There's a million, that barbed wire that I did on you.
Yeah.
These are things that make guys submit as
Right.
well.
But I guess what I'm saying is, I'm
That's
not
it. Lock
trying
that
to.
elbow in.
It's just the reality. I'm just being real.
No
Grab
doubt.
up on his hip. There you
Believe me,
go.
I have these conversations all the
And
time.
I know you probably know this. If you take out the pin, if there is no pin, it's going to negate a lot of the pinning, the submissions that come because an opponent is trying to avoid being pinned.
Pin, yes, there's a
In other
ton of
words,
submissions.
and what I'm saying is, so then it kind of like it takes them out of the equation. Because once a guy doesn't care about being pinned, now to pin with a barbed wire, show me, like, can you pin with a barbed wire if I just lay on my back? I mean,
No, but there's so many
It's more like
submissions,
it's
so-
gonna hurt because I'm gonna avoid going to my back, and then it's gonna crank me.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? You know that.
Listen, and these are actually fantastic questions. So there's a couple things that happen. One, so have you ever gone to of course you have, to like a jiu-jitsu tournament or judo tournament?
That's it.
How's the crowds for that?
Yes, no, I'm with you 100%.
Right.
So I'm
my
like you,
point-
I'm in the middle.
So my
I'm like
point is
saying
this.
jiu-jitsu,
So wait,
you
my
guys
point
got
is this.
issues.
Let me just finish the point. Is that the pinning? So when I teach young people, or I teach them what I call amateur catch, I don't do points. It's not Folkstyle. Folkstyle is a derivative of amateur catch.
Right.
To me, there's no points. It's just pinning.
Right.
When you start learning the full professional style, it's pinning and
With the
submission.
submissions.
And you're 100% right. The pinning.
Now, lock
The
this.
second a guy throws his arm up, you got 1,000 different
Ways to
things to submit the
manipulate
guy.
him.
So there's all of that repertoire. There's a huge repertoire of submitting guys off of setting them up for a
Yeah,
pin.
I'll show you what to do in there.
The
Okay,
pin
guys,
is,
bring it
in the submission game, to me, the pin is more for the audience.
here.
Just like MMA, there's a submission or a
Show
knockout.
domination.
Submission or knockout in MMA, submission or pin in
Four-step turn.
true competitive professional wrestling, not the
I'm
exhibition.
gonna
shit you
reach
see.
in with the
Yeah.
inside hand.
So,
inside his legs.
I'm just being real. This would be the
I'm gonna step
argument
outside with the
from
inside
the other
foot.
side. So I agree with you
And I'm
in
gonna
that
put this in position.
jiu-jitsu,
Now look,
you can go to
I'm gonna
jiu-jitsu
get
tournaments
this high
and
on
it's
my chest
really
and I'm gonna
boring.
lock it.
Yes, for most spectators.
Right, from the
Yeah,
spectator.
but the participants for fun.
For a lot of them, they don't want to see guys play chess on a minor
Yes,
little
yes,
thing.
technical.
It's like big deal. We don't want to watch that. But and we want to see takedowns. And too much guard pulling in jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
creates grapplers with no takedown
takedown skills.
no balance, not prepared for MMA.
Yeah.
So I grant all of that, and I'm always preaching
And
that.
wrestling's great for the transitions
Right.
too,
It's
right?
great for the right.
From
Right.
clinching and moving to the ground. And,
But I guess again, but the argument on the other side is, if catch is going to work on pins and submissions,
yes.
which are good, I agree, they're very good to work on both. Because I remember I'm a wrestler through and through.
Yes.
But if we add them together, it's going to then make us
Outside with my foot.
work
lock
on
to my chest.
submissions that are dependent on pinning.
Yes.
That the
Yes.
pin is a threat, a
Yes.
danger to our opponent.
It's a whole other dimension.
It's a whole other dimension. It's like
So there's
you
two-
change the rules and now there's a whole new thing.
with grappling, which is no gi, or
Right.
what I call no pin catch instead of no gi jiu-jitsu, we call it no pin catch.
Right.
But grappling is one vector,
Right.
submission.
Right.
Submission, catch as catch can. You have two problems
Yeah.
to solve. And
Right.
so it is different. It is different.
But doesn't that change the submission vector? Because
It does, and it doesn't, because
Go ahead, go right there.
there are, the great thing that I like about catch wrestling, and you can always sniff out the people who haven't done the history or aren't really, or maybe have their own biases or whatever. Catch wrestling was always, the matches typically, until it got real big, and even when it got big in the 20s and 1910 and all that kind of stuff with Gotch and Hackett-Schmidt, the rules were agreed upon between the two wrestlers. It wasn't some uniform set of rules everybody had, so they could
what are we doing? We're doing this, we're doing that,
a
we're
lot
doing
of
books.
a lot of matches barred the strangle at the end of at the heyday of catch wrestling. Strangles weren't allowed, but 10 years prior,
Yeah.
the champ Evan Strangler Lewis was
Right.
killing everybody
Right.
who strangled
With chokes.
him, right? So it's a very flexible sport.
Yeah.
So that said, there would be straight grappling matches that did not have any kind of pinning.
Right? Like, so then it would be like no gi, or like you said,
Back
no
in the day.
pin,
Yes.
no pin catch.
Yes, back in the day. And so there is catch is really amazing to me personally because I'm a super nerd and I've been studying this stuff like really hard, really like going to the best. You know, that I just try, like Wade Chalice, Billy
Yeah,
Robinson,
yeah.
I trying to figure it out.
Wade's a guy I really study quite a bit. I really look up to that.
Well, his style is the closest to catch that I've ever seen. That funk style that he came up with is the closest to catch in its meanness and its emphasis on pain to get compliance
Right.
out of your wrestlers, right? It's legal pain.
You got it this
He,
way.
he always knew how to manipulate the body for the pin. So he was incredible.
So really, we got this idea of the finisher from Wade when Wade came on with us was to integrate.
Is he still working with?
Oh yeah. We're trying to get him out to Italy, and we just had him out in Ireland. And
is he doing good, like physically?
he's doing. I mean, it's been amazing because with Billy, Sam Crescent, who's over there. Sam and I have had to like assist Billy with everything because by the end his hips were so bad. I mean, dude, he was. You could see.
Yeah, well, I saw it. He was had his cane,
and he just moved constantly in pain, but you couldn't keep him up no matter what. But with Wade,
Get your chest.
because he didn't do the bumps from pro wrestling,
Right.
It's like stunt work, real hard on your body.
Yeah.
Wade's still amazing. I don't want to wrestle Wade. I got more wind than Wade, but Jesus Christ, he's like in his 60s, man.
Yeah, well, the guy, he's arguably one of the greatest American wrestlers we've ever had that never won the Olympics.
Well, do you know the story behind that?
Not the full story, no.
So, and it's interesting because he wrestled for Clarence, right? Like Kurt Angle, who broke his neck, right? And right before the Olympics in '76, Wade broke his neck. He beat everybody at Worlds. He beat everybody. He done Tbilisi.
Yeah.
He smoked everybody. He's got the Guinness Book record for wins in pins, wins over national champions, wins over international. He's
got more than anybody.
He's amazing. Broke his neck, so he couldn't do 76. Okay, but he beat everybody at Worlds.
Yeah.
His next season, which was his last, to really be competitive, President Carter pulled us out of the 1980 Olympics because of the Iran thing, and he missed that too.
Yeah.
So he's like the best wrestler, but just because he never went to the Olympics, nobody's really knows who he is unless you're like a wrestling nerd who knows like all this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
there's a lot of wrestlers that have not heard of Wade Chalice.
we're trying to change that because not only that, he's like All-American in 5 different disciplines: Judo, Folkstyle, Freestyle, Greco, and Sambo. And he was on the Sambo World Team. He's like, back when Philo was doing belts and shit like that, he was like a 9th degree black belt. So people are sleeping on Wade. He's an amazing guy. He's the closest catch I've ever seen. But it's interesting because Bill used to tell me back in the day, nowadays you can go in any strip mall and there's a jiu-jitsu place. When I came up, that was not true. I mean, there was nothing, dude. We were flying people in from California, Salt Lake to Colorado, and it was like,
especially out where you guys are.
Here's the Mecca.
We have tons of jiu-jitsu, and now we have, I have 5 jiu-jitsu schools on my street.
Yeah, it's an amazing time.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Billy was telling me, he's like, it used to be the YMCA. You go to any YMCA and find a dude and go have wrestling, so who would you catch wrestling, right? Well, Wade told me an interesting story because I always like, how did Wade get to be this way, which is very much a catch wrestling style? He always tells a story. He went to the YMCA. His mom was a single mom back in the day when it was not very common, right? So she sent him to the Y to be a man. And I think he'd been doing pretty good in high school or in junior high. And he went in real cocky to this guy at the YMCA who happened to be this former Olympic guy, old catch wrestler guy. And he just tore him a new one. And from that day out, Wade was all about that mean style and using mechanics and kind of the science of the body and he figured out kind of his own style. That's why he's like the godfather of funk or whatever.
Oh, the guys.
But to your point, you make a very good point about the pin. That creates a lot of submissions off the pin, but we have so many that have nothing to do with pinning that you don't see in jiu-jitsu, you don't see in judo. They are specific to catch wrestling, and that's it's like an oral tradition. We're trying to keep that alive.
Right, and I'm with that. Like, I like that. Like, I wouldn't claim that I know a whole lot on the subject, but I've done my little bit of, like, everybody does, right? We do our study a little bit. And I'm all for like the history and trying to keep all that stuff alive. So how much does it evolve? Has it evolved?
Yeah, there's a lot. So I mean, I think probably in the modern era, the best style versus style match that I've seen is probably Lister versus Barnett.
Right.
Because really, honestly, sometimes when I see Josh, you don't see him a lot in straight grappling. You see him in MMA, and so he's mixing his styles up. Yeah. Right.
I've seen him a lot, but that's also because I'm friends with him and I've known him for so long. But I've seen him in a lot of tournaments actually.
I think that match probably showcases catch
Yes,
best.
I would say so too.
Without really an emphasis on the pin, and he finished him with a finisher.
Yeah, and he did. He did. He
That
won.
fat boy choke would have been a pin.
He won out and he got him fair and square. I mean, he might outweigh him, but it doesn't. He still beat him. It is what it is. It was a good day for catch that day.
So I think it's an interesting. You use the term evolution, right? Has it evolved, or
Right, like so. I guess what I'm saying is like I watched because I was training jiu-jitsu in the 90s, and some people want to go back to the 90s. Some people are like, I wish jiu-jitsu was like it was in the 90s.
All the way up and hook.
And I think that that's
This one
like
comes here like
wrong to say because
like a shield.
it's a good thing because
This is gonna
what
roll.
they're trying to say
Shoulders
is
are gonna roll,
today's
and I'm gonna
jiu-jitsu
force that from
has
here.
gone so much in the direction of sport
Here.
that it's been
You're gonna
bad
just
for
let go?
jiu-jitsu.
Oh, so now it's people gaining the points and not really trying to use
yes,
it.
and they're 100% correct.
Let me do it
But
on
at the
that.
same time, I feel like saying, do you really want to go back to when we weren't that good?
True.
Because even though jiu-jitsu was good in the
Get
90s,
all the way up to here.
it's gotten way better.
Here.
But it's also jiu-jitsu, as you know, like there's jiu-jitsu schools all over, more people practicing,
right,
which
guys.
helps with the evolution.
1, 2, 3,
And
practice.
then with YouTube and the internet and sharing,
it's unbelievable.
it's just like grown so much. And then with catch, you didn't see a lot of schools. Obviously, there are people. There's people
Catch
like
is
you.
small, dude. Catch
but
is so
I know
small,
it
it's
is. I know it is. But there's people like you. There's people like Curran. There's
That
people
last,
like Eric Paulson.
that show that we did last year,
Okay, that
right?
was
'Cause
great, but
I mean, I'm at the
you just turned your
both
upper
the
body.
business side
I want
and
you to force
promoting
and
it
swing the
and
leg.
trying to keep the knowledge going. I mean, I'm
You got
pretty
it.
much
Yeah.
up there in the leadership, right?
Right.
I don't want to toot my horn, but we did everything. We had Josh Barnett on the card.
Right.
You know how many people showed up?
Okay, now.
100 people. 100
To
people.
watch.
To watch.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
And if
Pro
you did-
wrestling,
if you
your
did-
joke, local indie pro wrestling gets 600-700 people.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we had people come from Japan.
Right.
They were hardcore.
But
It's
if
not
you didn't
sustainable.
have Josh, it probably would have been.
Oh, it
like
would have been.
20.
It's a joke, and I got the best guys. Once Josh entered into that tournament, all of a sudden they've got all this interest, and the media starts picking it up, and I'm like, shit.
Everything was.
So I had about 3 weeks to pick up my Rolodex and book people for this match. Now, Kurt had been training for 7 months, thinking he was fighting Josh.
Yeah.
And then I have a bunch of old guys who are my buddies who had like 3 weeks. Were like, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Show up, and they gave, and it was great. I mean,
That's gonna be hard to
that show reaffirmed to me how special. You can go see the YouTube videos of all the matches. They're all fantastic.
I think I've seen one or two. I don't know what I'm watching yet. Like I have seen some matches of the catch tournaments that I think you put on. I just don't know if I've seen that one specifically.
1, 2.
Yeah, I think that I think it's a very special sport. I think that the rules are fantastic, not only for participants,
One of my
but for
students did a catch wrestling tournament. I don't know if it's related to the stuff you were doing. I know Josh Barnett was promoting it. So
yeah,
maybe-
he's been running his down in Brea.
Yeah. She did one. I had a
good.
female do the tournament and do pretty well.
Oh, good.
It wasn't like a tournament actually. I think they were just exhibitions. She did exhibition matches.
Yeah,
So it wasn't like a bracket.
yeah.
But yeah, she.
I
won
mean,
that.
it's hard, dude. Even somebody like Josh, you know, he'll run a tournament and he gets like 70 people. And
Yeah.
that's big for a catch tournament.
Right.
So the problem is that, you know, catch has been around forever. And, you know, you can see like Pancrase was a catch-based MMA promotion. I mean,
Okay.
all the guys,
Fair, yeah.
Funaki, Suzuki,
Yeah, they're all-
Shamrocks, they all came
It's a
from
derivative of that.
directly from Carl Gotch, right?
Right.
But the problem is it's always been like that. It hasn't gotten to be a big thing. Now, if you include Folkstyle as a derivative of catch, it's everywhere.
Right.
But then there's no submissions in it.
Right.
So,
And truly, I would argue, jiu-jitsu guys are closer to catch almost than
Okay, guys, let's
wrestlers.
go.
I could make that argument because at least the jiu-jitsu guys understand submissions, and I know that's a tough one maybe for you to swallow. But
man, the jiu-jitsu guys are so bad. They're so bad with takedowns.
Right.
I can't give you that.
Right, but here's why. As you know, you take any wrestler, fresh out of even a college level wrestler.
Oh yeah, no.
He's gonna take you down and get choked
Yeah.
in the first.
That's what I
Now,
used to
granted,
do.
You could bring
I
him up
used to
speed.
love knowing the
Yes.
shit that because I would like the wrestlers used to beat me up, then I learned the submissions, and then I'm
And
beating
then
them
you
up.
can beat them up. The
But
moment
when they learn the submissions,
True.
then you're fucked.
Fair.
You're totally screwed.
Fair. That's a fair point.
Because that's, I mean, and I think the statistics show that, right? Like
Right.
all the guys
Yes.
now, they've started in Folkstyle.
But I could argue, but listen to this one then. I'll make a good argument because you're talking about, let's say we have like some Division I All-American. You go with him on the mat the first time, he doesn't know submissions.
Yeah.
He takes you down, but you choke him or you
That's when you
armbar
quit.
him.
That's when you
Right.
quit.
And then you go, okay, how long does it take for him? Everybody's different, but how long does it take for him to get up to speed? Let's just, I mean, everybody will argue different, but let me say 6 months,
Yeah, that's
right?
what I was gonna say, yeah.
6 months, right? You give him a good 6-month crash course, you train him real hard, and now he's pretty, he's really
He's a
difficult.
killer.
He's
Yeah.
a killer.
Walk around on your
But
legs.
if you
So
take
it
that
doesn't
same
have
Division I
the same
All-American
amount.
caliber
Yours
of
is
a
separate
jiu-jitsu
than
black belt,
And also,
and you teach him wrestling,
you have
and
less
yes, he
mobility.
can be very dangerous.
He can be, but it's not 6 months.
I think it is.
Really?
With the right coach.
I mean, you got. I mean, okay. Granted, I
I've
mean,
done
there's,
it. That's
there's
why I know.
yeah, there's variants. I mean, you look at somebody like St. Pierre.
Yeah, look, you take a guy like Jacare.
Yeah, Jacare. Yes.
Jacare on the bottom, he went with Matt Lindland.
Right, right.
He ate up Matt Lindland and nothing with takedowns.
I think I can see your point. When you hit a certain point, and this is kind of where I wanted to go when you mentioned evolution.
Got a
Yeah.
wide range of motion. The knee is a hinge.
At a certain point of it, so, you know, like we're here training these guys and trying to keep it alive and, you know, make sure people don't forget. But at a certain level,
If it twists too far,
there's
it
nothing
tears,
new.
Okay? That's why you
right?
extend twists.
Like at a certain level, like you can go back to the tombs of Egypt and there's people doing bars.
Here,
Yes.
rip,
And the thing is and Bill used to say this, is that it was like sickle.
barring.
So what happens is there'll be a champion and he's got a move that he likes, so like Gordon Ryan.
Yeah.
And now everybody studies what Gordon Ryan does. And that's called evolution.
Yes.
Meanwhile, that shit's been going on for thousands of years. It's just everybody forgotten about it. He's killing everybody because everybody, just like the wrestler that I could choke, they've forgotten all about those moves. Now leg locks are hot. Everybody's gonna get on leg locks. Then people are gonna move to Nelsons. Then people are gonna move to cradles. And it's just gonna cycle around.
Yeah,
We're
but-
gonna
okay,
think it's
but-
evolution. But it's just we're replaying the same shit over and
But
over.
without the pins, you're not going to go back to Nelson's.
I don't know,
cradles.
man. No,
The
turtling?
knee bar. Go.
Dude, I whip Nelson. Shit, I'll submit somebody from a turtle with
Yeah,
a
but,
Nelson.
but not if they can just flip to their back.
Oh, I will.
Okay, you're going to have to show me that later.
We'll do some Nelson stuff that
okay,
people aren't
but-
doing.
Okay, I hear that, and I'm all for it. Like certainly everything's been done. People say it's all been done.
Yeah.
But it's not really true, in my opinion, to say that.
The permutations are different.
Yes, but they have gotten better. The leg locking that we are doing today is clearly better, and I will argue that the catch wrestling of today is better than the catch wrestling of the 90s.
Oh, yes.
And here's how I know, because I was around in the 90s and I saw the catch wrestling from Tony Caccini.
No.
I saw the catch wrestling from any of the other guys that were putting out any kind of tapes. I've seen what they've done.
Yeah.
Look, even the Chin LaBelle stuff, even the Gokor Chivichian stuff of the 90s, it was good. But it's not what we're doing today.
That's true.
It's not.
That's true. And you know, it's funny because I've
Better
worked,
today. It's
I've
not
worked,
just a cycle, but I do agree with you on that.
I've worked out with so many like older generation guys, right? And a lot of them are always like, oh, back in my day, they were always tougher and stuff. And you know, I don't think there's any like totally true statements. I think there's statements that are mostly true, partly true. You know, I think there's a lot of like subtlety. And so when I say that, I do think that athletes are better today. I think that's because technology is better.
True.
I
That's
think
part of it.
we know more about the physical body. We know how to push it in a way that doesn't destroy it.
Right.
We know about nutrition, rest, all these kind of things. Steroids. I mean,
Yeah,
act like
true.
people
It's
don't
part
do
of
them,
it.
but I mean,
That's a valid
dude,
point.
I mean, so I think the athletes are better, and then we live in this. I mean, look at you. What you're doing is amazing.
There you go.
In 1994, when I started grappling, there was like the Henzo Gracie, Craig Kukuk videos,
Yeah.
and the Hoist Horian videos.
Yeah.
That was it. The
Yeah.
rest of it was shit out the back of Black Belt magazine that didn't work.
Yeah.
And now
Panther Productions.
Panther Production, dude, I had every freaking tape, and they all suck. I mean, just being real by today's standards. So
Right.
your argument's 100% sound. However, I will say this. Some of the athletes in the old days I think would be as good or better than some of the athletes today because of the lack of distraction. So there were very few athletes back in the day that had access to the information because it was all held really close and you only gave it out. So there were some guys that were really good. I take for example Billy Robinson. And nobody else knew how to do anything. So it was like when you're strangling wrestlers because they just didn't know.
Right.
Now with the internet, everybody knows everything. But the problem is then they also have Tinder, and they also have Facebook, and they also have Instagram.
Yeah, but there's good, but in the population, there's always going to be the dedicated. So as much as our kids nowadays are super soft.
That's true.
We got like a lot of super soft children coming up today with Fortnite. We also still have those natural hungry lions that are growing, and all they do, if you just take amateur wrestling, the guys right now that are winning NC2A titles, I mean, when I go back and I watch, sorry to say, Mark Schultz, you're amazing, but when I watch the 1980s wrestling, it just is not the wrestling that we're watching.
Okay,
now.
but there's also some subtle things happening. Rules have changed. Time periods have changed. It's our game now.
But the technique that they were using back then, it's the same as jiu-jitsu. It's like watching Royce Gracie in the 90s and then watching what we're doing now. It's different.
Yeah.
And it's better. I wrestled in that time.
No, I'll agree.
It's
I'm
clearly
with
better.
you. Me too.
So I'm just saying, and I think it's a good thing. Like, why don't we make catch wrestling better? Let's make it, Billy Robinson's great, but now let's take it to the next guy. Let's stand on the shoulder of Billy Robinson, the giant, and let's take it even further.
Listen, I've been trying to do that for 20 years, man. Trying to update it, trying to get it going.
But I think we need to say that that's possible, and we should.
Oh, 100%. That's why I hold these tournaments. And I will say one thing. I do agree with you that I think that the quality of athletes, like I'm talking elite athletes, the guys that are hungry, that really wanted the killer instinct guys.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of I think that's level. I don't think that's changed. I think that's human nature. I don't think we've had enough time to evolve to have better lungs.
Agreed.
I think
100%.
but I do think there's way more badass dudes now. And I think a lot of it
population's bigger. So you got a bigger
population, but I think it's stuff like what you're doing. This information is being disseminated for free.
Right.
And these guys, like back when those guys came up, you had to have a busted nose, a busted cervical spine. That's how I learned actually too. You had to get busted up to learn this.
And even me in the 90s, I had to go travel hours to get to a clinic so I could learn a technique. And nowadays, we just flip on YouTube, it's right there, and get the information for free.
Yeah, these young guys.
Teach me grappling.
These young guys, I mean, it's really, if you're into the sport of grappling, I think this is kind of a peak time to be alive. It really is. This is like, if you're into wrestling and grappling, this is probably one of the greatest times to be alive.
It is.
And it's really because of what you're doing and stuff like that. I mean, it's amazing.
Everybody can just watch this and learn. So it's
take it back to their own lab and test it out. It's very scientific in that way. I think that's the big change. It's almost like how science, science used to be like alchemy became chemistry, right? And what's the difference? The alchemists were all secretive and wouldn't tell anybody. And so they're 90% of their shit's bullshit. But once they opened it up and started,
then everybody can.
Then it became chemistry.
Yes.
And I think that's what grappling is going through.
It's
just this giant weeding and testing of moves and getting on the mat and seeing what works.
So so that's a good almost segue into how I'm thinking. I want to move forward. Maybe there's some things that we can make better today. Maybe we can go over something and test it out, see it, and then create these arguments. I mean, that's one thing that I'm great for because I'm not a jiu-jitsu guy strict. I'm not a wrestler strict. I'm kind of like a hybrid. And then I would also tack onto that. I share some catch wrestling in my DNA in a sense. Because some of what I learned derived from catch wrestling. I know that. I don't deny that whatsoever. And people always ask me, is that a catch wrestling technique? And then it's the whole argument over a punch is a punch is a punch.
That's the thing that gets me mad a
Is it a
little bit.
karate punch or a kung fu punch?
Well, see, yeah, that's the thing that drives me nuts.
Or is it a boxing punch?
So, there's two kind of ways people think about it, honestly, and I know one of them is not super productive.
Yeah.
And that's kind of this like lineal kung fu way of thinking about it.
Right.
And then there's this other way where it's a sport, and whatever fucking works under the rules of the sport is a catch wrestling move. And so arm bars,
Right.
that's in jiu-jitsu, that's in catch wrestling. Chokes, as we practice catch, that's in catch wrestling, and that's in jiu-jitsu. I think the thing that's interesting and the thing that... So if you have birds, right, like lemurs, like look at lemurs, right? So you have Madagascar. Lemurs only show up on fucking Madagascar.
Right.
But they're part of the monkey family. And it's because they were isolated doing their own fucking thing. They got their own thing going on, right? And that's kind of like what happened with catch. Is it's got its own, like, so a top wrist lock, if you just lay down for a second, I won't crank it. So for us, like you'll see the top wrist lock, or the Americana or whatever, right? And you can tell me because I don't know jiu-jitsu, but the old tapes it was this that way. Well, we don't do it that way.
Right.
We actually make you talk on the telephone. So the arm's up. Right? So I don't have to do as much dragging. It's here by changing it. So it's still a very similar move, but I never see jiu-jitsu guys do that until catch wrestlers show it to them. You know what I mean?
I would agree with you.
So there's those kind of...
I would make an argument though. I'll make an argument because I am aware of that technique.
Yeah.
And but here's my argument. The reason why jiu-jitsu uses this one is because the other one tends to be a little bit more difficult to achieve in a situation with two resistant opponents, both skilled. If you have somebody who's unskilled, you can almost catch them in anything. When you have a skilled grappler, they tend to be very difficult to catch in that technique. But by the way, I use that specific one you just did in like a few scenarios. Like for example, where you have your hand already under.
Right.
But it becomes a, like for example, say you're here and you capture with your right hand.
Now, do you do this at all?
Yeah, like I try to do it anytime I can, right? But once you go and you try to make that grip, right? Yeah. Now when the guy comes out, how do you hold that?
Oh, if he's trying to duck out of it?
Yeah, like how do you hold it when the guy's moving? That's the question. With a skilled guy, how do you hold it?
So if the guy's really pushing out, and there's actually some pretty cool counters where you can actually roll me
right
into this guy's side. So watch if you frame up. So look, if I'm rolling with a guy, I want so strategically one thing I've always been taught. Now this is interesting because this is Carl, Billy, and Wade. Carl and Billy both knew each other, so I can understand why they have. But Wade didn't, and he kind of, I think, came up with it on his own because it makes sense. You always attack 2-on-1.
Okay, right. So, and I think that's because they want to try to dominate one limb, right? That's the idea. Like I am stronger when you dominate 2 against 1.
Look, you got big arms, right? And I can be a noodle. So, like you might be able to curl more than I can with our our right arms.
Right.
But 2 arms together, I'm stronger than you.
Right.
So in that case, now I'm just showing this to be fancy and all that.
Right.
But typically, I'm gonna hold this.
Right.
Like that and bring it
And
on.
then how do you finish with the 2 hands here? Because I have a way I do it, but how do you do it?
So I come out to the side. And
that's pretty good.
But watch my hands. So I go from here to here. So I go from the frame.
You go to 2
my
hands
hand.
on top. Right.
So I can basically do this one-handed thing, but I haven't let this go, so you can't lasso it.
Right.
Right. A lot of the old timers too. They like to do this hold, so you can't.
Yeah.
You don't have the
I've seen a lot of that in photos. And again, in my early training, I definitely, I'm a dork like you, right? I studied everything I could, and then when now certainly I'm still in search of the information.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here today. But
the true master is always a student, right?
But I immediately started to notice, because I competed at a very high level, that certain things were a lot more difficult than others.
Yes.
And so, like, for example, I'll make a statement. I'll go on record as saying, I don't think the Americana, Jiu-Jitsu's name for
top wrist lock.
the top wrist lock, is as good as the Kimura or the double wrist
I
lock.
agree.
There you go.
I will make that argument that I will, if you do the stats, this is going to submit people more often than this. The moves look similar, but they are clearly different. And so what I'm saying is like there's some moves that are just plain more effective, and
So here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
The 3 bread and butter moves of catch as catch can
Right.
is the neck crank or a variation of a headlock.
Okay.
It's always a neck crank. The double wrist
The
lock.
double wrist lock.
Always. The top
Right.
wrist lock. It's a very easy move to counter. The other one
Yeah.
you can do. So let's see if I can remember this on the spot.